Physically, you feel fine. You've still got energy in your legs, but your brain is saying, enough, stop, don't take one more step. In fact, it might be screaming that at you, not just saying it. Sound familiar? Well, yeah, I'm guessing it probably does, given that you're listening to a running mindset podcast on overcoming mental fatigue. Now, the fun part of mindset work is now you're aware of what your brain is up to, you won't be able to not see it again. But that's a good thing. Yes, frustrating as hell, but a good thing to see the pattern, because this is a pattern and we can untangle it and get you running strong mentally and physically. So today we're talking about the mental fatigue that can convince you that you've done enough, that you can't take one more step, that if you were to take one more step, then it's going to be struggle, hustle, grind. We're going to lead with compassion to help guide you towards trusting in your body. If you're new here, hello, I'm Gillian. I'm a running mindset coach and the host of Your Running Coach with GMacSpurr podcast. I help everyday runners, especially those of us who aren't at the front of the pack, tackle the mental battles that matter just as much as training plans and mileage. And mental fatigue, it is one of the sneakiest battles out there. So let's start with 3 truths about mental fatigue. Truth number 1, mental fatigue does not mean you're weak or can't do something. Let me just repeat that. Mental fatigue does not mean you're weak or can't do something. Mental fatigue is a biological process. Your brain's first job is to protect you, to keep you safe, to keep you alive. It might feel like it's out to sabotage you, but your brain doesn't know the difference between you lacing up and going for a 20k run or running away from a saber-toothed tiger. Your brain is not sitting there like Brain from Pinky and the Brain, remember that cartoon? Trying to find ways to sneakily destroy you or sabotage you. Your brain notices effort, stress, or even just the monotony of repetition, and it tells you to stop long before your body needs to. Why? Because the brain loves safety and familiarity. It doesn't like you stretching outside your comfort zone. So that I can't go on voice, that's not truth to be believed. It's a safety alarm. Your brain is just like, woo, 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 what's going on here? You need to stop before things go too far. It's just making sure that you're staying safe. That doesn't mean that you can't do the thing. Truth number 2. When runners listen to their brain and stop, it is highly likely their body still has oodles of energy in the tank. Research shows that mental fatigue can dramatically increase the perceived effort of running, even when your body still has energy left. The brain acts like a safeguarding governor, limiting how hard you push before you're physiologically done. So that voice in your head saying, I'm done, often it's not the body, it's your brain setting limits. So know that if you've fueled correctly before and during your run, you will highly likely have the energy to continue on long after the brain wants you to quit. Now, don't go full on David Goggins and push through when your body wants to quit. Notice I said body, not brain. A lot of what David talks about in his books, it's some seriously good mindset shit, but please do not run through pain and end up with long-term damage that needs rehab. Physical pain or your body saying stop, stop. When your brain says stop, query it. Question whether or not you need to stop. And truth number 3, you can train your brain. Just like intervals or long runs build physical stamina, mindset work builds mental stamina. That's why practicing mental strategies during training, not just on race day, is the real game changer. Things like mantras or Chunking runs into smaller goals, or banking evidence of all the times that you continued on when your brain wanted you to quit, or even leaning into the mental discomfort so you can play with how you show up. So in a real life situation, you're not derailed. Let's talk about some of those mental strategies. I've got a bunch here. Some you may have heard of previously, some may be brand new to you. I encourage you to listen, to pause, to reflect, and see if there is one or two or more things here that you can use. So when I say mantras, I'm meaning simple, powerful phrases that cut through the brain noise. Think strong legs, strong heart, or I can do hard things, or I'm stronger than my excuses, or this moment is getting me stronger. Pick one that feels like a truth teller in the moment, one that cuts through any of the BS that brain comes up with. Then repeat, 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 and really feel the words. I am strong. I am showing up for my dreams. I'm doing this. Extra bonus points if you say it out loud, but it is okay if you just do it inside your head. I mentioned chunking it down. So instead of saying, ugh, I want to quit, I'll never make it another 10K, tell yourself, just get to that lamppost, or just one more song, something that takes you out of the moment and gives you something in the future to focus on. Mental fatigue thrives on overwhelm, so shrink the goal and you can shrink the resistance. Practice discomfort. Play with how you show up. So this one's a little bit spicy. A perfect training cycle should have hard runs. It should have runs where you want to quit. It should have you questioning your life choices. Without these WTF moments, you're not giving yourself an opportunity to learn how to lean into this discomfort. Learning from the mental fatigue, or have evidence that you can keep going. Don't just avoid the hard sessions. Go in search of them. Lean into them. Now, we can't necessarily set out with a run on our training plan that says, have a mentally challenging run. But you can choose to run in less than ideal weather conditions. You can choose to run hills that intimidate you. You can choose to run tired. These are things that you can do that helps you teach your brain that I can do hard things and I don't break when it's tough. A strategy I say to runners all the time is remembering your why. When your brain says stop, anchor back to why you started. Whether it's health, pride, community, or proving something to yourself, your why is stronger than the fatigue signal if you give it oxygen. So ensure that you have a really strong, powerful why. And one of my favorites is flipping the script. Write down your scariest I can't thoughts about running. I can't run this distance, I can't run this pace, I can't run these hills, I can't be the runner I dream of, whatever it is. Then beside each one, document past receipts, past evidence, moments when you've proved yourself wrong. Build your own mental evidence log. This is so powerful to be able to look back and see all of the times that you did do the thing. Your brain is just remembering the times that you weren't able to do it or telling you that you can't do something in the future. But if you give yourself evidence that you can actually see, there we go. Another good strategy is running in reverse. Now, I don't mean running backwards, although doing some of your runs backwards would certainly help with some muscle fatigue, but that's a whole other story. What I mean by run in reverse is literally reverse your route or run a loop backwards. So do it in the opposite direction that you normally do. This helps disrupt monotony, resets the brain prediction of effort, and creates micro surges of novelty that fight fatigue. So if you find yourself week after week, running the exact same loops, the exact same routes, the exact same way down to a certain area, try going the other way and see how that feels, both physically and mentally. Now, a good one is, before your next run, I want you to visualize a moment where you think you're going to feel tempted to stop. So maybe it's your long run on a Sunday and you've got, let's say you've got 18k on your plan. When do you think you might feel tempted to stop? Is it at 8k? Is it when you're about to go up a really steep incline? Is it after you've done 7 minutes of running? Whatever it is, then I want you to mentally rehearse how you'll show up, how you'll respond. What words are you going to say to yourself? Are you using a mantra? Are you up to speed on your really strong why? What's your posture going to look like? What's your breathing like? Anticipating that this moment's going to happen and what you're going to do, it makes the moment less shocking because you've already practiced it. You're already practiced handling it. So it's a really good one to have in your back pocket, because if you've already taken the time to rehearse it, it won't surprise you when it comes. And the final strategy is using opposite energy. So feeling mentally flat, instead of pushing harder, doubling down on the effort, just try the opposite. I know that sounds weird, but slow down, smile, shake out your arms, take a sip of water. Sometimes relaxing into effort reduces fatigue more efficiently than forcing grit. So give that one a try. That may, out of all of those strategies, that one might feel the most uncomfortable, especially if that mentally flat moment happens not on your LSD, your long, slow distance, your easy run. If it's happening on your steady or your tempo run, be curious how you get on with slowing down. Now, let me tell you about one of my own struggle city runs. I was training for my first marathon back in 2016. The long run started out like every single other Sunday LSD, long slow run. But around 15k of the, I think it was 26k run, I noticed things weren't as fun or as enjoyable as it usually was. My pace was fine, my fueling was standard, I was well hydrated, but my head was done. My brain was saying to stop, to walk for a bit, that 15k was a decent distance. I didn't need to do any more. The chatter got so loud and really mean. Like, this is pointless, you're tired, you'll never be ready for race day if you can't even do this easy run. Which is kind of ironic given that it had been telling me to stop, yet now it was telling me that I'm never going to be race ready if I can't even do this easy run. Like, make up your mind, brain. Where are you going with this? I almost stopped. To be fair, it was a nice spot to stop at. I was running along the waterfront in Toronto on a lovely, sunny, not quite too hot yet day. Like, it was a lovely spot. But instead of stopping, I made a deal with myself. I was going to run to the next lamppost, and then I was going to decide what I'm going to do at that point. And by the time that I got to that lamppost, which can't have been more than about, 500 meters up ahead, once I got there, I then gave myself another lamppost, because when I reached that first one, that 500 meters or so went past okay. The thoughts were still there, but I had that little mini goal to get to, and I'm very goal orientated, very driven by goals. So once I got there, Great, fantastic. I give myself another lamppost, and then another, and then another. And eventually it was time to turn around in the other direction. I finished that whole run, that 26k, not because my legs had more power or that I took more gels or that a miracle happened, but because I stopped letting my brain be in control of how I showed up. That day not only taught me that mental fatigue isn't a stop sign, but because of that evidence, it's been the gift that kept on giving me mental strength at times when I've wanted to quit afterwards. Like, that's so powerful, is just having that evidence, that proof that I've done it before, and how successful it was for me just to keep going, to focus on things that I can control, that are within my control. Oh, so freaking powerful. Okay, journal prompt time. If you're new here, each episode I give you some journal prompts for you to dive in deeper to the topic that we are discussing. So grab yourself a pen and paper or your notes app, although I'm old school and all about the pen and paper. Here's your 3 questions for today. The first one is about banking evidence. So, when has my brain told me to stop, but I kept going anyway? When has my brain told me to stop, but I kept going anyway? You could use this for running examples, life examples, work examples, whatever. And a follow-up question is, what did I learn? Specifically focusing on thoughts and actions. So what did you learn when your brain told you to stop, but you kept going? The more that you can write down here, the better. And yeah, focus on thoughts and actions. Number 2, what mantra or phrase feels powerful for me when things get mentally hard? You can borrow one of mine that I mentioned in this episode, or come up with something that just feels really good. And question 3, how can I practice small doses of discomfort in training so race day feels familiar? Now, we can't do all of the eventualities that could come up on race day, but the more that you can practice, and as I mentioned in that question, just in small doses, the more that you can practice, the greater strength, mental strength you'll have come race day, when something might come along that your brain says, no, not happening. Okay, so there are your 3 questions. I would love to hear your answers. You can either send me a DM on Instagram at GMacSpurr Coaching, or come join the Your Running Coach with GMacSpurr podcast Facebook community, and come share your answers over there. And if you've been nodding along because mental fatigue is the biggest hurdle between you and your running goals, that's exactly what we tackle inside the Runner Identity Project, or TRIP, as I lovingly call it. TRIP is my coaching program designed to help you shift your mental limits, find strategies that work for you, and actually feel proud of the runner you are becoming, not just the distances you log. If you're curious about taking your mental game to the next level, check out the show notes and let's talk about your next chapter. Okay, thanks for listening. Happy running. See you next week. Bye for now.